For the surrogacy questions and Q&A and all that. This question is, how did I become a surrogate? I think I've talked about this before, but it's in my earlier videos from the first surrogacy and I have no idea where it is. And I haven't actually looked. So, I became a surrogate, and I talked a little bit about it in the last video. I guess the first question really would be why I became a surrogate. I became a surrogate because I have witnessed and felt the pain of infertility. If you've been a follower of mine since my first channel, like 6-7 years ago, I created my YouTube channel because we were trying for our second child and I couldn't get pregnant. We tried for 23 months to get pregnant and finally got Lucas. That is nothing in the grand scheme of what most infertile couples go through, or what the years they endure before they actually get a baby, if ever. So I by no means know the struggle from beginning to end, because I did get my miracle baby, and my problem wasn't just a me problem, it was a sperm problem that was easy to fix. So once we got to the doctor and got all the stuff figured out, we didn't even need medications, we just needed to change lifestyle choices like eating and stuff. Changed it, took some pills from Fairhaven Health, I think it was what it was called. But anyway, that's how we had it. It didn't feel easy at the time, but compared to everybody else, it was a pretty easy fix. And we got Lucas. So I knew what it was like to go every month tracking my cycle and trying and temping and OBKs and crying because that stupid test didn't have 2 lines, the 20 million that I took, crying, and David didn't work at home. I mean, he wasn't here, he was in Virginia while I stayed in South Carolina with Haley. It was hard, it was rough, and it sucked. So that kind of made it dug it in deeper, and that's where I needed to. I think God put that on me so that I would know the struggle, so that I would follow through with this dream I've had since I was little, to be a surrogate. And yes, I really wanted to be a surrogate since I was small. I always wanted to be a mother of a lot of kids. That dream has changed, but I think God made me to have babies. That's what I used to think when I was small, until I had my first C-section, and then I had trouble getting pregnant. Then I was like, oh my gosh, it's not gonna happen, because my biggest fear when I had the C-section was I couldn't have but maybe one more kid. That sounds so stupid now, but it's what I felt. And then we couldn't get pregnant, so I was like, oh, we're never gonna have another baby anyway. So it was devastating to me at the time. But we got pregnant with our little miracle boy. He's perfect. I had a VBAC, and it was cake compared to what it could have been. And that was that. That's after Lucas was a few months old. I knew, like, I felt that calling, that this is what I needed to do. This is what God put me here to do, is to help somebody. And I did. So, but before that, what first put the thought in my mind was my mother had a horrible time getting and staying pregnant. She had multiple miscarriages. Before I was born, she had a miscarriage at 16 weeks, and then my brother Brandon was born at 32 weeks. So, and back then, you didn't get to, like, in her case, they didn't let her see her son. Like, she never got to hold Brandon, she never got to see Brandon, there was problems, so she just couldn't. But she never let us not know about him. Like, we've always known about our brother. Like, we knew that he existed. Like, he just didn't get to live or be with us. He got to go to heaven. But even growing up, I knew that pain my mom had. And that struggle she had to know that she lost a son. That it was hard. Like, I know, I can't imagine the thought of losing one of my children, even in pregnancy. But she did. And she recovered. She still had miscarriages after that, but nothing that late. She had me. And with me, she didn't even find out what I was. I didn't get a name until I was born because she was so afraid to plan for me. She got attached, but she just kind of pushed back from it. So, from me. And then I made it. I was born. I was here. I was healthy. I was a little bit early, but I was here. So she got her a rainbow baby, which is me, and I never thought about that until recently, that I was a rainbow baby. And then she had a miscarriage between my sister and I, and then she had my sister, who was also born early, more early than me. And my sister had problems, she has epilepsy, and when she was really little, they told my mom she wouldn't live to be 13, and I just accept that. She didn't accept that. My sister is a mother now, and although we don't make the same life choices, she is fine. She's here. My mother has 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren between the 2 of us. So there are happy endings to infertility, but then there are some that don't have happy endings. That's why I became a surrogate, to help families who suffer through that to have babies. That's my goal. I want to help people who suffer infertility. That is not every surrogate's goal. Some surrogates want to help families that wouldn't have babies otherwise because of their relationship status or whatever. That's where their heart is. My heart is for infertile couples that fight infertility and know that pain of infertility, just because that's what I've experienced through my life and my mother. And yeah. So there you go. There's my story. That's how I became a surrogate, why I became a surrogate. And then, like I said, after Lucas was a few months old, I started researching it more and found friends that happened to be surrogates through social media. And there I was. History was made. And now there are 2 little girls running around with their mom and dad being crazy and beautiful because God put me in that place and they let me help them, and they have 2 beautiful babies. So hopefully this next transfer will work and I'll be able to help another couple. But that's how and why I became a surrogate. Bye guys.